Hello everybody and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today we are on the map Tundra with a 1v1 of Ubivator, who is up here in playing Armada as red, versus Mr. Andy in Cortex playing as blue today. Both players have picked similar start positions but not quite the same. As we see, the difference here is that Ubivator has decided to go on this further left flank as opposed to Andy. This will give him better control over this lowlands section up here, but will then mean he will cede some control over the far left of his side. This map, we've seen it before a couple of times on the channel. Just for those that aren't aware, you've got points here, 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 and here that are more advanced metal points. They give you extra metal as opposed to the rest of the map. So the rest of the map is 1.9 and these spots are 3.6. And resume. Now, with the map extension off today, just so people are aware, the map extension basically, this like color on the side, it takes the skybox's color. So this is unable to be set on a player level. It's purely down to the map, but this color is a bit easier to read today. So that's why we're going to leave it off today. There'll be a poll going up when this video releases to gauge your guys' opinion on the whole map edge thing. So please let me know your opinion. Whoever wins out in that opinion poll will be how I'll do it in the long term. Now, moving down to bases, Andy starting with a bot lab here, and Ubivator doing the same, as we see some ticks on their way towards Andy's base. However, Andy already has grunts in defensive positions here, so not much is going to be able to be done by that tick, and we actually see it get destroyed pretty instantly with one tick left. He's probably not going to go for any raiding with those ticks. He's probably going to just position them in some form of expansion blocking location, just to give him a bit of an idea when his opponent is expanding to those locations. Now, interestingly enough, we see Andy using his commander to expand across to the right here, as opposed to like keeping his commander in base, which is exactly what we see Ubivator doing right now. Ubivator actually being pretty smart here with his use of build power, so like starting off a wind turbine with his commander and then switching back to the factory and letting the construction turret finish it for him. The commander has more build power, so this means that more build power being placed on the factory, and just letting the slightly less build power slowly finish building that wind turbine. Both players with red spots out, and both players that you can see on the mini-map here starting to expand with construction bots. The only difference here is Andy's expanding with his commander instead. This does technically mean that Andy's going to be able to expand a little bit quicker, with the fact that his commander has high build power. These ticks, though, might manage to get in, but with a construction turret there, it may be difficult for the ticks to manage to take it out. They almost do, with 1% left on that metal extractor. A literal 2 health was left on that metal extractor just then. Meanwhile, unfortunately for Andy, that metal extractor will get destroyed, but with his commander right there, it's not too big of a deal. Okay, he's not paying attention to it, obviously, because he's microing his stuff around here. Some of this will get destroyed as well. There is a resbot nearby, though, so as long as the resbot doesn't get killed, he could just resurrect the metal extractor, so it doesn't lose too much. But with this pawn heading straight to the resbot, losing a resbot this early on is quite a big thing to lose. And yep, there goes the resbot. The pawn does go. At the same time, the resbot loss is quite substantial at this early stage. Meanwhile, more and more forces just keep getting piled down the center here. Andy does have this one LLT with a radar, but bots are able to traverse this hill completely, or this mountain range. They can just walk straight over, and if we press F2, you can see that they can path pretty well up and over it. There are some locations where it's a bit more difficult, but also, not only that, but again, him struggling there, but the ones that most worry is on this side as more ticks are getting in. Not only that, but it looks like he's about to lose another construction bot. Yeah, he did try and like block with walls there, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. Well, the ticks getting a lot of wind damage here. They're all too close together, so they've chained, and that's 7 windmills lost to 2 ticks from Andy's side here. Quite a lot to be losing. Unfortunately, the ticks weren't microed anymore. Well, fortunately for Andy, that is. But on the top side, we do see a push here from Andy. Finally getting some own pain back there. Managing to get a construction bot and a good couple of metal extractors. However, he is about to run into the commander, so this will not last for much longer. And just at the tip of the D-gun there, Ubivator manages to shut down that roaming grunt as it goes past. Andy not expanding as quick as I'd thought, to be honest with you. He has not expanded to the low ground at all, completely not even contesting those high-value mexes. And Ubivator doing a great job at actually keeping Andy in his little pocket. The constant raid harass and the cliffside being able to go over it is really difficult to contend with. It basically means that the map's in essence just completely flat. It's the Centurion also coming out now from Ubivator. These are perfect at dealing with grunts and literally made for that purpose. However, they are obviously a lot slower, so there's a bit of a difficulty there. But Andy with just not enough units right now, it seems. He is trying to harass on this left flank, causing his opponent to have to send stuff there instead, which is giving him a little bit of breathing room. But he doesn't have a lot of units in his base right now, and with this very small force making its way towards him, he needs something that's going to be able to deal with that Centurion. And as of right now, he has nothing. One advantage that Andy does have is the ability to build these armed metal extractors, which we're seeing him build here on his left flank. This is going to help protect these areas a little bit from, a few roaming units. But meanwhile, he's slowly, very, very slowly moving forward with his commander. Andy with a huge amount of metal right now, but no energy to speak of. Wind is in a very good spot as well, but just nothing really. Tidal is also not worth going on this map with only generating 9 energy rather. It's a bit of a waste. This Centurion very, very close to the front line here. But thugs will make short work of that Centurion if there is enough of them. You can see the rate at which he's producing units right now, though. Look at them coming out. 3 seconds. It wouldn't surprise me, though, if we soon see a transition to vehicles. Some great micro work there from Ubivator as he manages to get around that thug and get flanking damage. Surprisingly, no res bots here from Andy. He's got a lot of reclaim to be had here, and he's choosing not to resurrect any of this stuff. Meanwhile, on top of the hillside, there's the bunch of pawns crawling over the top. I was going to say rambling. Rambling and crawling at the same time comes some word that just literally doesn't exist. Luckily enough, Andy's prepared for this little push and has ample units there to defend at this point. Andy preparing a bit of a front line here on this special metal point. Both players seem surprisingly that they've completely ignored this left flank. It's mostly open, which is quite surprising, really. Resbot's finally going around to this left-hand side here. I'm surprised how, like, small groups they are. Are these just free-firing? Some of these are just attacking ground. I wonder if it's radar. They're hitting radar dots. That's why. And this just shows you how much radar dots move. So, radar wobble is a substantial thing, and don't underestimate it. Now, this is going to be a relatively big loss here for Andy, as these thugs get absolutely annihilated by just an overwhelming force of pawns and grunts here. We can see as well that Ubivator has transitioned over to Maces himself. High ground advantage is going to help substantially here, but Andy just getting massively like forced into a hole here. He's got units on this left side, units on the right on the hill. He's trying to make some dents further forward, but isn't really making too much of an impact. He does manage to get some stuff further forward, but runs into a Centurion and isn't going to really be able to do much more than that. Resbots getting destroyed as they come out of base here, and more energy getting absolutely annihilated. And he's just kind of happy to let that happen right now, as he's focusing more on this little fight here at the front. There's just so much red everywhere. In so many different spots. That's what got reclaimed now, but you've got two guys over here, you got a guy there, two guys there, a guy there. It's just like so much everywhere, and Andy's really struggling to kind of keep up with all of the like flank attacks that keeps happening to him. Luckily, he's spaced his windmills apart more this time round, so he's not going to get a massive chain of all of his energy this time, but he's still losing a lot of windmills. Well, I said he wasn't going to lose all of his energy, but it does look like maybe he will at this rate. Great pawn micro here, going all the way around, trying to get to those energy converters. Unfortunately for Ubivator, not managing to get the final shot there. Quickly checking out the base of Ubivator though. Aircraft has been built here, whether that's a prepare for a bombing run, or it's a prepare to build fighters to counter shurikens that is expected to come out. Who knows? But at this rate, all the numbers in this top right are in the red. And Andy's going to really struggle to kind of get this back into control. Andy's commander actually up on the hill here. Really ballsy position for the commander. Very, very dangerous position. Meanwhile, commander of Ubivator is over here on the left flank. Units on the left flank slowly preparing to go in. There is an armed metal extractor here and an LLT, so that will make it a little bit more difficult to get in. But a radar does get destroyed on the left side. which is going to limit vision for Andy again. Andy's vision completely gone on that left side, as more pawns just make their way straight into the base of Andy. And Resbots as well, also just directly outside of his base. I mean, Andy just getting absolutely dominated in this game so far. The fact that pawns are consistently able to get round the back here and, like, get stuff killed. Like, this metal extractor hasn't been rebuilt yet. And then there's more units on their way. But here comes the bombing run. And this may signal the end for Andy. Some air defense was built, but it won't be long enough. There go most of the solars. As we select Andy, you can see his energy production's literally in the ground right now. Metal extractors getting destroyed. That's pretty much an entire base destroy there for Andy. He's lost all 3 of his starting metal extractors there. Oh no, actually, sorry, he's still got this one. 2 metal extractors lost. A huge chunk of solars lost, both sides. And that is a big, big hit. It's not good for Andy. However, Andy does have a significant chunk of units right now. Not only that, but a significant chunk of units closing down on Ubivator's commander. And at the end of the day, the only thing that matters here is commanders. These gunships may have just saved the day. Also, Ubivator now able to extract himself into the sea. And fortunately for Ubivator, he will live to fight another day. Meanwhile, Andy's commander still in a bit of a precarious position here, right in the middle. But Andy's still giving it one. Trying to force back this army in the center. I still feel like Ubivator's got a unit advantage there. And all of the reses did die indeed in the middle. Not only that, but we see some units still, again, going into the back line of Andy. And now getting surrounded on 2 sides as this force on the left slowly gets pushed down by these pawns. See 2 fights going on right now. Both sides are losing. Andy desperately trying to build more energy in the center, which won't last for long either. He desperately needs energy. He's not able to actually produce units at this point because of how little energy he has. Not only that, but wind has died right now, causing a significant energy shortfall. Also, with the amount of resbots that Ubivator has as well, all of this reclaim field with a 3.6k metal is up for grabs and is predominantly going to be grabbed by Ubivator. And also the issue for Andy right now is knowing that Ubivator's commander is in the water, he physically cannot do anything about it. This does mean, however, that Andy can use his commander maybe a little bit more freely. Get some D-guns on the go here. And knows he doesn't have any other commanders to deal with, making raids quite effective. However, there is a sheer overwhelming force of gunships, of 17 gunships moving down on that right hand side. Surprisingly not just going straight for the commander, but there's no anti-air on this right side at all, so all of the expansion Andy had on this right side is now going to get destroyed. Also, somewhat surprising we didn't see a single shuriken from Andy, or any vehicle transition either. A vehicle transition might just give him the stopping power he needed. Unfortunately, now with the sheer volume of units coming out from Ubivator, it's not going to make a difference. But fair play to Andy for not giving up. Like, he has been peppered all game long. And he's just trying to hang on. And the fact that he hasn't just given up is, you know, it's good. Good. Most people would just, like, surrender by now. But no, he's not giving up. I don't know what his play is at this point, though. I'm surprised we're not seeing any form of Tech 2 transition from either player, though. As Slow literally says, Tech 2 time? He reads my mind. Exactly, Slow. Maybe. But instead of Tech 2, we actually see a vehicle transition. Janices with the Stouts would be very effective right now. Exactly as the spectators are saying, a Tech 2 transition for Ubivator would be useful. He has a significant unit advantage right now. I mean, he's actually building an artillery position, which you very, very rarely see. Or was building it. He has basically control of every location right now, and he may just want to push in and just make the most of this. Andy's really going to stuck doing anything. Andy hoping that his micro can outwin Ubivators here, but he is consistently losing units, and there's only so much healing he's going to be able to do. More pawns moving down on this right-hand side, though. Pawns antics. And unfortunately, even more damage to be inflicted here by Andy. Or to Andy, sorry. And this massive attack makes its way in. Every single thug that Andy had getting absolutely destroyed. And look at this chain of resbots going around the side. Andy resigns moments before his commander was going to be destroyed. Well played, both players. Ubivator just completely on top of it that time round. Just absolutely annihilating Andy. Constantly keeping on top of him. And as you can see here on this graph, look how many units Ubivator had pretty much the entire game. Bear in mind, he had scouts and ticks and stuff like that. They're really low cost, so of course they're going to have more units. But still, just so far ahead of Andy the entire game. And even when we look at metal produced here, look at the gap towards the end. Energy produced as well, where you could see Ubivator just kept building, and Andy just obviously kept getting attacked and not able to build up. So great game, both players. Hope you all enjoyed this one. Don't forget to let me know what you think about the edge border thing in the community poll. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.